Hello everyone, it's Nikki here and welcome to my cross stitch channel. And it's the 19th of March today. It's a bit of an odd date for me, not really at the start of the month, but that's because I've been holding off because I've been wanting to get to a certain milestone on one of my projects before I show you. So let's start with that one, shall I? So this is kind of what I worked on in February, and I think I started previous video is partway through February. But anyway, this is what I've been working on since. So I wanted to show this one. This is why I was holding off. Got a bit of board to mostly help. This is Snow Girl. The artwork is Neen Thomas. It is a retired Heaven and Earth design. She's no longer with them, but she does do her own charting now. So you can still get pictures. I believe this one on her website is called First Snow, and under Heaven and Earth Designs it was called Snow Girl. So the reason I was holding off, because I usually work on this in a Q-snap. So last time she was all bunched up and I've reached the bottom. I am using an 11 by 11 Q-snap, and that means that I can get 2 pages into the working area. And so I kind of do that and stitch diagonally in 10 stitch diagonal columns. And yeah, so that's the 2 pages all the way down to the very bottom. It took a little while to get finished off because this one section here has so much confetti in it. So much, I mean, her eyes were pretty mad, but no, this is mostly just to vivid colours, so that didn't take that long to stitch. But by the time I was getting to that last bit at the bottom, let's try and find a good way to hold her. Last bit at the bottom, it was taking quite a while to stitch, but there we go. I wanted to get that done so you could see how she's looking so far. She doesn't usually come off the Q-snaps, only when I'm moving them. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be back up here and starting on her hair again. These 2 pages, loads and loads of black to do, so it should speed up again. Yes, that's where we are. I wanted to show you that one. And while I've got the board out, oops, sorry, might bang the microphone there. I've got the board out. Let me show you another one that I've been working on. This is just off the bars at the moment. QS Yishen from Heaven and Earth Designs. Snow Girl is stitched on 25 count 1/1 full crosses, and this is stitched on 20 count easy count fabric from Zweigart, and I'm using 2 strands of DMC floss for this, so it's a lot thicker. It's just so nice. I really do love this piece. I finished off page 5. I already had I'd already started on page 5 when I was kind of working on it as a Friday night sofa stitch. But I moved it into the regular evening rotation now, so get a page finished, time to move on. So I finished off page 5. Again, the theme for February and the start of March has been confetti. This dress, I did start just colour completing on the page and left the background for last. Obviously a lot blockier there. So when this one does come up in the rotation again, we'll head to page 6, and it's a 12-page project. So I'm probably about 50% of the way through this, but in terms of pages, I'll be halfway through next time this is out on the rotation. But not sure when that will be yet. I need to sort that out. I need to sort out what my rotation, what order pieces are going to be done in. That's because we've had a few projects moving around since then. So I did have some notes, and yes, oh no, not quite in the right order. Don't need the board for now. So this one, my focus project, Winter Paused in Flying. Last time I showed it, I was close to finishing page 12. Since then, page 12, stitched on QSC Shem for a page, came back and stitched on page 13. So this is a Gecko Rouge project. The artist is Doreen Spencer Davies. And we're nearly there. We are nearly there. 2 pages left to stitch. I was very tempted to stick with this once I'd finished page 13, but I decided to switch. I think it's like 5,750 something stitches to do, and then we're finished. So this is about to be stitched on again. I'm picking it up this evening. So I think I might stick with it. I might just do the 2 pages, have a finish, get one of the projects off my evening rotation, which has gone a bit crazy large. So get those done and then we will have a finish. So yes, maybe next time I come to you will be to celebrate. So, looking forward to having that done. It was quite simple because this bit's like blocks of colour, finished off the boat, so all the colours are starting to finish as well, so that's really nice. Nice to see all the colours ticking to 0 in Pattern Keeper. So this is more of I think there's a bit of sea in this triangle, and then there's a lot of sea wall and a lot of snow to stitch again. So I might get grumpy with it at points, but I don't think I can put it down after the 1 page now. Just want to get it done. So whipping through this. This is 28 count easy count fabric, and I've just finished. The reason why I'm going back to that is because let me move this way. I've just finished my 2 pages on Home in the Mountains. This is a Golden Kite project, but it is the solid colour version, so I'm stitching it with 1 strand on 25 count easy count. The pages on these Golden Kite ones are smaller than all my other designers. So I stitched the first page, and then after that I stitched 2 pages together. And I just ignore the page break and work across the 2 pages, colour completing. They kind of, the colours are together, they're not all over the place at the moment. So it actually builds up a nice, you pick the first colour, just builds up a nice framework through it. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it's all background, but once I finished it, I noticed I've got 2 waterfalls there in the hills, and right the way down here is the very top of a tower. It's the spire of something or other. I think that is the only building I'm going to get on this row of pages. So there's a lot more of the hills and the woods, and eventually at some points the sky. These are the 100 centimeter quantum bars from Amanic Factory. It is a biggie. Yeah, I've still got a lot to do, but 2 pages at a time. I think the 2 pages is 6,000 and something stitches, so still smaller than a regular Heaven and Earth Designs page. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. Really do love working on this. Again, it was a start last year for my birthday, so it's good to keep working on it. So I might get it finished at some point in the future. So, tell my notes. Oh no, I haven't. Let's move that out of the way. Let's move some things around. And my Whip Go project. So this is the Wanderer. Try and hold it like that because that's all I've got so far. This is the Wanderer. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. The artwork is Natasha Chora. And this is the Wanderer. It's a mouse with a little quiver of matchsticks. And I'm stitching him for Whip Go. So when the whip go numbers are called, I multiply the numbers by 100, and that's my goal to stitch in the month. I've got a secondary goal of doing an additional 454 stitches when only 2 numbers are called. So when 13 isn't called, I'm always stitching an extra 454 stitches. And that is so that I can get this done in 2 years of whip go. It's nice. I really enjoy working on it. I can't remember what the numbers were for February, but they were higher. It worked out to be a higher total than February. February, the numbers were 10 and 1, so yeah, 1100, and then my 454, so it didn't take long to finish. Let me do this so I can put you through some bits. So I started down here, which is the middle, and then I worked my way up to the top of his ears, and I'm kind of working down ever since. So his eye was done, and now I'm just filling in face around there. Got a parked thread. We got his nose. I've done more of his nose. I don't know if he gets Flosstube itchy nose like I do. And just as I was finishing, I just got to kind of his backpack that he's wearing with his quiver, and this will be the matches. So when the numbers are called, should be called Monday? Yeah, soon. When the numbers are called for next month, that will determine what I stitch on, because I've decided that when the number 13 is called, we get 3 numbers that month. I'm going to count up from the top of his ear to the branch, and there's a branch that's completely disconnected from the rest of the picture, and that sits over his head. So the number 13 is my signal to do that counting, which I'm not really looking forward to. If it doesn't get called, I'm going to be working on the matchsticks and getting those in, and I'll kind of be at roughly the same height across this section, and I can work down properly. There he is. I really enjoy working on him. He's so nice to stitch. Doesn't cause me any problems at all, and it's not gridded fabric. It's just regular 25 count Lugana. It's the antique white colour. I didn't, because it's got no stitched background, I didn't want to have the lines because I didn't want the stress of what if I could still see a line afterwards. Normally full coverage, I'm not bothered, but I didn't want to risk it. So just turn my notes over. Another project. I had a finish in February. Let's get bored out again. A Frosted Pumpkin Castle Homecoming Club stitch along, all laid out flattish, finished, and I got it in February, so I kept up with the stitch along. So the last bit I was working on was last clue, clouds and the sun, all that white. I'm not a fan of stitching blocks of white, but yeah, it looks cute, and it's done. Need to sort out framing it. I shall frame this one myself. It's quite small, and it doesn't need anything too elaborate. But yeah, job to do, and it's finished. So I think it started. Well, stitch along started last year, and the last clue was in February. But it finished in February. It's nice to have a finish. So so what now? Oh, right. The reason a lot of my rotation pieces have been moved around. So I was working on Bizarre Bookshelf after finishing my Whip Go project, and then stuff happened and I fell down a rabbit hole, and my husband's fault. He started it. He started messing around with AI images, and he created some. Yeah, they're nice. They make good pictures. So I started playing around with the prompts and I generated my own artwork, and I haven't got a picture of how this will look, so hopefully it might be possible to insert a picture of the image that I generated and put it here somewhere. And once I generated it, I'd like to stitch that. So yeah, so then I went and picked up a copy of Winstitch and I created my own chart from the image, and this is it. I've called it Keeping Warm. It's a bear, I think. I think of her as a female bear, and she's wearing scarves and hats, and she's just generally keeping warm in the snow. So I kind of think of her as she's someone who knits her own hats and scarves, and she wants an excuse to wear it. She's going to wear them all at once, because those of us that knit know how much work goes into all these knits, and you want to get the most out of them. So that's her story. Yeah, I generated the chart, put it into Pattern Keeper, fully compatible with Pattern Keeper, and the mock-up looked really good. I thought, well, I'll give it a try. I'll see how it stitches up. So I found some fabric that would fit. The width is kind of not as much as I would normally give my cross stitch, but I was taking a bit of a chance on. I've never done this before. I've never charted anything like this. So it was a bit of a chance and a bit of experimentation. So I thought, well, I'll start on the nose. I'll work on the nose and the eyes, because if they look nice, then I'll want to carry on with it. So I started that, and yeah, I really like how it looks. It does look really good. The mock-up is pretty good. And so yeah, I stitched the nose. There's a few stitches down here in a muzzle that isn't quite finished. Dangling thread at the back. So that's mostly done, because I wanted to see how it looked. So since then, I've been working on filling in the darker fur, and that's kind of what I'm working at the moment. I'm working on this kind of quarter of her face and working towards her ear. So this is a bit of her knitted hat, ear here, and I'm working on filling in as much as I can on this until the start of next month, when I do my next set of whip go numbers. So how much time this has really depends on how long it takes me to get my whip go project done, which was great this month because it was really quick. So I've got two projects that I really like working on, and I really want to get finished. So they kind of like one after the other. So after that worked, kind of gave me a bit of confidence that charting software is fairly easy to use. I don't know all of it. I don't know. There's a lot I'm not doing, but I made some adjustments to the picture because there were some bits. It's AI. It can't get everything right. So there was a couple of bits that didn't really seem to make sense to me. So when I had it charted, I just adjusted a couple of the colours slightly. And so I did that. I'm feeling quite happy with it. And I'm still having fun generating images. So what I've been doing is I've been coming up with some images. I'd like to stitch that. That would look really nice as a cross stitch. So I've been charting them. And I'm not going to be able to stitch them all, because I mean, I buy more charts than I could ever stitch. And now I can generate as many cross stitches as I would like. So what I have done is set up my own website. It's nikkistitches.co.uk. I'll put the in the description box underneath this video. and my charts are there, and they are all free. I don't want to charge for these AI charts that I'm creating, because I'm not an expert prompter, I'm not an expert charter. I just put the picture into the software, tinker around with it where it needs to. It's very much like when years and years ago I used to do a lot of bits and pieces in Photoshop, lots of collages and manipulation of images and bits and pieces like that, and just purely because it's fun and it kind of hits that artistic bit that I like to do. So I've always played around with these sorts of things, so it wasn't really a surprise that I'd enjoy creating these images. If I didn't cross stitch, I would probably take those images that I created and then try to replicate them in drawing and painting in traditional media, but I don't have time for too many hobbies, and cross stitch is my hobby. So I'm not an expert in any of that or creating the charts. I'm probably not even getting the most from the software that I'm doing, but what I'm creating are things that I would like to stitch. And so when I'm creating them, having a look at them, yeah, I'd sit down and stitch those. If I had all the time in the world, yeah, I'd sit down and stitch them. So what I'm doing is I'm making them available to everyone for free. You can go onto the website, and it's very much like a shopping website. You choose what you want, you put it in your basket, you check out. There is an option for a donation. Not looking for any monies at all. If you wanted to donate, you could. There are some ads on the website, but it's just to cover the cost of running the server. But when you don't have to part with any money or anything in order to get your hands on the charts that I've created. So yeah, been doing a bit of that, and hopefully there's something on there that you might like. As I said, just download. Lots of people have been doing it. I've been posting pictures of this on Instagram, and it does seem to be quite popular. It would be nice if you do download them and start anything, if you tag me in any pictures, because it would be great to see them. I'm not going to be able to stitch everything, so it would be nice to see them coming off of someone else's needles. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and this month, the rest of this month, I'll be working on winter post in flying, working on keeping warm for the rest of this month, and snow girl. So kind of the three things that I'm planning to do for the rest of this month. I don't think I'm going to get winter post in flying finished before April, so that's something to look forward to for me for next month. And then once that's done, I really must do a page on trick or treat, because I haven't touched that at all this year, and I'm kind of itching to get back to that. But once winter's done, at the moment my focus piece is looking like it's going to be a stitch in time. I might change things around. If it's not a stitch in time, it will be trick or treat. If I pick trick or treat, it's because I'm restricting the number of evening projects that I'm rotating through, but I'll make a definite decision on that when I need to make that decision. I'm not ready to decide whether to just park some things for now and get some more finishes done. I don't know. Part of me just really wants to just work on a few pieces and not flit around so much, but we'll see if that's possible. So yeah, that's it for me for now, and I will see you at some point in April, hopefully with some more progress. I will try and do a video once I've finished winter. We'll try and have a little celebration, and I'll catch you up with what else I've been doing. If I might I might even hold on until I finish my Whipgo numbers for the Wanderer, so you can see that. Anyway, that's it for me for now. I will see you when I'm back. Have fun with your stitching, and I'll see you shortly. Bye.